It's no secret that Hypixel Bedwars has seen a decent uptick in players recently, whether it be from Joe Pig or others in the community, including myself, making their Bedwars is low-key fun again videos. The game Bedwars itself is more or less the same game, which will lead to burnout once again. So I thought about this, and I thought about how if I was given the chance to update Hypixel Bedwars, what would I do? So I'm going to be presenting some of my ideas today on how we can save Hypixel Bedwars. So let's get into it. So my first idea of how to save the game is to add a mayor system, kind of similar to Skyblock in a way, believe it or not. So how you would do this is, you know where the current shopkeeper is in Bedwars? Well, you just change his spot. I mean, who uses a shopkeeper anyways? So what you would do is you would take his spot, put him somewhere else, and put a voting box right there. And this could be even similar to Skyblock with some mayor ideas I have here really quickly. One of them is a mayor, kind of like Diana, where she brings a special event with this concept I call bedbug. The game mode would be where there are bedbugs, so this would work in solos, duos, trios, and squads. It would be across all game modes except for like dream game modes, because to be fair, dream modes are already their own kind of game. These would spawn all across the map. They're kind of like garden pests in Skyblock that you have to kill, except instead of using a vacuum, you kill them with your sword. And they spawn all across the map, and they just spawn randomly, but it's within a 5 to 10 second generation period, but they don't become overwhelming like real pests do. These can give small cheap rewards like coins and XP, but they can also have chances to drop RNG items such as an overpowered weapon, a very useful utility item, or even rare cosmetics. So this would put into the game a little bit of RNG, kind of like Skyblock in a way, when you do Slayers, for example, where you could drop, like, let's say a Judgment Core when doing Enderman Slayers, or drop a Warden Heart when doing Zombie Slayers. This could give level stat changes, change the game, or even give you a rare cosmetic to flex, but it makes the game more random and less predictable. Another mayor concept idea that I had would be like a tryhard mayor. So this mayor could give, let's say, for example, a 10 to 15, maybe even 20% increase in Bedwars XP for the time they're active, and all mayors during Bedwars would be active during the same time as a Hypixel Skyblock mayor would, so roughly every 93 Minecraft days or a little over 5 real life days, just to make it more interesting. It's kind of like the Bedwars rotations items in a way, but basically this one would give you more XP, and it would give weapons like the Juju Shortbow of Bedwars. It's like the quick bow, I don't remember what it's called, or even offer a mace-like weapon, which would add a whole new idea of combat into Bedwars, something the game has desperately been lacking for a long time. Another cool idea I had could be a mythologist mayor that could completely offer new abilities to the game. You could buy certain attacks like a damage potion. Obviously it wouldn't be called a damage potion, it could be called, like, it could just be, you get it, it's a radius damage potion, and it can inflict 1 heart of damage for every 5 seconds, leveling your opponent's health, or even like a wind attack, which would obviously require another factor, which I'll get into here in just a second, that deals damage and also gives knockback to the player. And a third concept would be the Wrath of God. It would cost like 15 emeralds, but it would annihilate any player within a 10 block radius, and would have like this really cool effect similar to a kill effect almost, but it would be like a circling effect of fire, if I can find an image for that, and then it just kills the player and knocks them dead. Also, for Skyblock people that watch my videos, this could be a way for Dante to even make his return. There could be a villainous mayor that claims to be making the game better and also have a live event in Bedwars. But what Dante did to Skyblock was he ruined Skyblock and turned it into an all-out war, but instead of fighting slimes, he could be resuscitated as a dragon. And then there could be a live event in Bedwars where there's just a ton of dragons that spawn all over the lobby, and then you have to find the imposter dragon, which is Dante, and there's just a ton of random dragons, kind of like if you ever ran floor 5 and fought Livids. It could be the same idea there, except we have to fight Dante as a dragon and take him down to quote-unquote save Bedwars. The next idea I have is one that I think the entire community has. 1.8 has definitely overstayed its welcome, and considering that Hypixel has pushed the limits of 1.8 not only in Bedwars but Skyblock, I feel like it's almost necessary that Hypixel needs to push their version from 1.8 and finally utilize 1.20. And in theory sounds simple, but the gameplay aspects can be completely changed, such as the new PvP method, which is no longer how fast can you click, but rather how you can time your hits and W taps. Because at this point, it's getting pretty repetitive just to click 20 and you do just fine. Plus, like said, if Hypixel had like double the items to work with, they can make some pretty cool items. And I actually have a couple examples of some items I have in mind. The first one is a Whiplash, and it would just be a reskinned Elytra. And what this would do is it would send a player flying through the air for a short burst, like maybe, I don't know, 30 blocks long. You just go up and then you fall all the way down, like making a backwards U, like a flipped U motion, except more elongated, and boom, you travel in between islands. And you would take less fall damage, obviously, because you would die from the distance this thing would take you, so that's how you avoid dying. The second item is the Riot Shield. I'm taking this one straight from COD, but it's going to be a little bit better. So it makes you impenetrable from attacks, and this is from any attack, by the way, not just a melee or bow hit, for 10 seconds, but it takes 45 seconds for it to recharge, so you can't just spam, you can't just go right shield, right shield, right shield. You have to consciously think about when you want to use that thing, so it's not like people are just going to be like, ooh, I'm just going to hold this thing up forever, you can't hit me. No, it forces PvP, because let's be honest, anybody who uses a shield as their only source of defending themselves, not even hitting back or shooting, is just a wuss. The next one item that I have is the Dragon's Fury, and what they'd have to do is they have to make it a splash potion, but it's the Dragon's Breath from when you fight the Ender Dragon. And what this does is it makes a 10 by 10 area of splash damage for 15 seconds. It has the Dragon's effect too, by the way, when you see it in the end. And it does 1 tick of damage, or 1 heart of damage, for each second the player is in the 10 by 10 radius. So I think just from those 3 items alone, that would make Bed Wars even more fun. And obviously the admins could just completely rework items in Bed Wars, and that's another thing too that I have on my list, which is number 3, removing items or reworking the cost of certain items, as well as just reworking items as well. We've already seen Hypixel do this when they completely obliterated the ease of use of the Juju Shortbow in Bed Wars, that quick shooting bow. They changed it from 2 Ms, which was freaking low. You could literally buy the best weapon in the game for 2 Ms, and then they made it 6, which is pretty reasonable. The first item I have on this list is the Invis Potion, and this one they might as well just change it to 4 emeralds, because, listen, gouging it to 4 Ms makes total sense, because for 2 Ms, you're getting something that is very overpowered. What they could do is just make it for 15 seconds, because let's be honest, how many times have we died to an invisible player and they just have stacks upon stacks of invis pots to just continuously hide from you? It's so annoying. So let's make it the cost of an ender pearl, because it could come down to pearl or invis pot. And while we're at it, let's rework the other potions just to 2 Ms a piece. It balances them out. I think 1 M is fine, but then sometimes I'm like, 2 Ms could be a little bit better. It makes your emerald spending more thoughtful. And that's not obviously the entirety of the game is emerald spending, but, you know, it's a start. So anyways, these are just a couple of my ideas on how we can save Bed Wars. And if I'm being 100% honest, if Hypixel can make Skyblock a crazy fun game mode that has over 10,000 concurrent players on at any time, they can easily rework Bed Wars into being a super fun game. And they don't even have to use any of these ideas I've suggested at all. They could come up with their own complete way to revamp Bed Wars. All I know is the Slumber Hotel was completely not what Bed Wars needed. Sure, it was a cool update, but it would be different if Bed Wars was already successful and it was a nice little 1-week update, which it was. It was just able to be completed in literally a week. It wasn't enough content for the amount of content drought Bed Wars has had for so long. So not only adding mayors or these cool items or even just updating the game to 1.20, but I genuinely think that if Bed Wars just gets a full rework, they can be completely successful again. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you have any other ideas about how Bed Wars can be saved, leave a comment down below. I want to see what you guys have to say. But that's all from me, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.